All right, coming back to you hot, coming in live. No music again today. Again in this episode. In this, we didn't do it in the pre. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I apologize that the pre-announcement earlier today did not show up as live. I don't know why. It was only 29 seconds long. It's trying to be short and quick. Maybe LinkedIn doesn't like that, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I expect that this one will air as normal in your feed and on my page. So thank you. I'm glad you're here. This is Monday Morning Mindset Masterclass number 10. It is July 21st, 2025. Yes, it is Monday. And thank you for your patience over the last few weeks as I've been traveling around and dealing with a bunch of stuff. That's all good. It's all good now. But life throws you some curveballs sometimes, and you have to roll with the punches. That's what having a strong mindset and being resilient is all about. So thank you again for being here today. We're talking about purpose, and I intend to be very on purpose about purpose today. So I hope you'll stick around to the end and hear what I have to say, and share and like and comment and tell me what your purpose is and for your life. And yeah, let's dig right into it. I'm going to. I've thought about putting my key principles at the end, just to shake things up a bit. But I think that they're a good intro. They're a good intro for each episode. And so I think at least today I'm going to keep it at the beginning. And let's just review quickly the three of. I don't know if they're my only three, but they're certainly three of my top key principles for a healthy, strong, resilient mindset. And I focus on mindset because this is a principle. Is it? I don't know. This is a principle, I think, for me, anyways. I focus on mindset because your mindset matters. Your mindset matters because your purpose, in this case, your purpose matters. If you have the wrong mindset, or if you have a weak mindset, or if you have a poor mindset, or you have a, like, say, a poverty mindset, um, it's hard to fulfill your purpose. So your mindset matters. And number two is to invest in yourself. I believe you are your greatest asset. And I don't mean financial. I mean assets are more than just financial. Assets are something you can draw and something you can use to help yourself and the world be a better place. And I think that the stronger you personally are as an asset, by investing in yourself, you give yourself the opportunity and many opportunities to show up and to have a bigger impact on the world. So invest in yourself, and when you do, you can, and I believe you will fulfill your purpose. And the third one is to take one action today to move yourself forward, because without action, your dreams are they just remain dreams. There's nothing more that comes out of them if you don't take any action on them, and you can't fulfill your purpose if you never take action to move your dreams forward. So that one action today might be just clarifying your purpose, but that's a strong and valuable action, and one that you should take if you don't have a crystal clear purpose. So again, today we're talking about purpose, as you might have guessed, as I already said. If you're like most entrepreneurs that I know, uh, you can't, like, I can't not pursue my passion. My passion, there's something in me driving me. Um, there's something that's just motivating me to press forward in certain areas of my life and to affect a positive change in the world. And I can't not pursue it. And I'll do it in different ways, in different mediums, in different attempts. It might be through a business, might be through a nonprofit, might be through whatever different means, right? It might be through helping others or whatever, but fulfill their purpose. But I can't not pursue my passion. That's that drive inside of me, and that, to me, I think that's one thing that identifies an entrepreneur is this: you have this burning drive and desire in you to be, do, create, to sort of affect change in the world, and you don't even necessarily know where it came from, or if you believe you know where it came from, you just can't stop it. It's just there, right? Um, So anyway, if you're like me, or if you're like most entrepreneurs I know, that's how you feel. That's how you think of yourself. And the problem sometimes is, we're going along, we're pursuing our passion, and but we don't necessarily feel fulfilled, right? There's something about our life that isn't quite lining up. There's something that isn't quite, like, we're not firing on all cylinders, or we're just not reaching the audiences that we want to reach, or we're not making that impact that we want to make, right? And it's okay that we're not necessarily there yet, because it's not until we're able to look back on our life later on that we can see the things that happened and the steps that were put in place to get us to where we needed to be at the time we were. It isn't always necessarily the timing of now to expand dramatically. I may need a lot more personal development. I may need more leadership skills. I may need more communication skills, etc., to be in a position to launch. Launch isn't the right word, but I mean, to see that vision so fully expand into what it all it could be. Um, but part of that problem, I think, is when we're not crystal clear on what our purpose is, right? I mean, do you know what your purpose is? Could you write it down right now? Feel free to put it in the comments, if you feel like you're crystal clear on what your purpose is. Um, but I was reading this, and there's been times, I'll just say, there's been times in my life where I have not been crystal clear on what my purpose is. And I, during those times, I really languished. Even at times in there when I made good money, I languished personally, and felt like I was unfulfilled, and like my life didn't have the same, I don't know, value isn't the right word, but it just didn't have the same meaning. It didn't have the same impact that I wanted to have. And those were times when as of looking back, I was not crystal clear what my purpose for my life was. So um, now, I'm going to come back to that in a bit, but I want to note that, like, I did some research on this, and since 1914, the use of the word purpose has declined by two-thirds in published books. Prior to that date, like from 1830 to 1914, almost 100 years, it had fluctuated very little, right? But since 1914, it's just been a real steady decline, and which is interesting. And I think that's, we don't talk about purpose in our culture anymore, not very much, right? And I think that's one reason why so many people feel unfulfilled, and why so many people seem to be doing so many dumb things, because they don't really know what their purpose is. So they're just running around, I don't know, doing whatever, some are just trying to survive. Some are just like, because they don't know what they're supposed to do, or what the overall meaning of their life is. They're just kind of doing whatever dumb thing comes to mind. All right, some good coffee there. Smart ass coffee, by the way. This is Kicking Horse Smart Ass Coffee. If you know me, you know that's probably very appropriate. So, anyways, I don't. Some people say, "Well, my purpose is to make a lot of money." I don't believe that that's your purpose. That may be a skill you have, or that may be something that comes very easily to you, but I don't think that, I think that's too narrow for one person's life purpose. One life is worth more than just making money, right? Money is fleeting, money disappears, money becomes stolen, it can be taxed, it can be whatever, right? I think your life is worth more than just you earning a lot of money. Um, so I believe, like, a person's life purpose, especially if you're an entrepreneur, is always much bigger than just yourself, or just your family, or even just your team, your staff, whatever is, whoever your company or your entrepreneurial venture is employing or feeding, that kind of thing, right? Um, by feeding, I mean your employees, right? You're giving them a living. So I believe if you're an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur because you are supposed to, i.e., meant to, i.e., designed to create something much bigger than yourself. You're designed to do, to make that difference in the world, right? And as important as your family is to you, I believe your purpose is much bigger than your family too, right? Might be your family for a season, but over the course of your life and your bigger life, like, you can raise your family well, while still impacting the community. It might be neighbors, might be the friends of your children, or the parents of the friends of your children. There's lots of ways you can impact people beyond your family, even while you're raising a good family. So, I watched a podcast or listened. I can't remember if I listened. I feel like I envisioned these people, so I just can't remember if I watched the whole thing, but I did listen at least to this whole episode. I think it was Lewis Howe's podcast, and Daniel Priestley was the guest. And I love Daniel Priestley. He's every time I hear him speak, he resonates more and more with where I'm at in my philosophy on life and business. And so I appreciate what he has to share and his perspective. So he was the guest, and he asked Lewis. He said, like, they're talking about their purpose, and they're talking about different things that they're doing in life, and businesses and stuff. And Daniel asked Lewis, says, how much money do you need to live? And don't be selfish, right? What's the number, right? Something like that. So Lewis replied, he thought about it for a second. He goes, he says, well, I was going to say $20 million dollars a year, but he tempered it down to $10 million dollars a year. And Daniel said, yeah, you could probably live comfortably on, $250,000, right? Like, for your whole family, you could probably do that, and not really want for anything, and give them everything they need, and vacations and things like that you want. You could probably do that, right? At least in the context, not maybe not in every community in the world, but certainly in the context of what he was saying. Yes, you could do that, right? Most people could do that. But uh, you can't serve anyone but your family on that, right? Basically, right? You can't really make an impact in the world. You can't really make a difference. You really can't be a world servant just on $250,000 a year. Not really, right? You have to earn a lot more than that to truly serve a lot of people. And I know people, and one reason why I say this and why this is important to me is because, and I'm talking about it from this angle is, I know lots of entrepreneurial types. They have a vision or a dream for their life. Oh, I want to be, and maybe they don't even think about it this way, right? But they're like, I'm a mechanic, right? Oh, I love looking after people's cars, and et cetera, and I'm going to open a mechanic shop, right? But what they do is they end up helping. They feel so bad, and they also feel like their purpose in life is to help a lot of people. So they give people discounts that like bigger discounts than they can afford. They sometimes throw in free parts and other stuff that they can't really afford, and they end up putting their business at risk, and they put their family at risk, because there's a misalignment between what they think their purpose is, which they could be right. It could be helping a lot of other people, and how they actually live out that purpose. And I've seen this so many times. Like, entrepreneurs are just too generous, right? They're too selfless, in the sense that they're too focused on helping other people to the detriment of your business. And if your business fails, who can you help? You can't help other people in that way that you thought you were trying to help other people, and you can't even help your family, right? You might lose your family, you might lose everything if your business fails. So it's important that your business is strong, and that your whatever entrepreneurial role you're playing, right? Whether it's a business, a nonprofit that you found, whatever it is, it needs to be strong. It needs to be healthy for you to help a lot of people, right? And I just want to help you avoid that tragic ending, right? The more people, put another way, the more money you make, the more people you can help, as Daniel and Lewis demonstrated. And I strongly encourage you to listen to or watch that. It's a very recent episode. It's only 2 or 3 episodes old right now. Excuse me, of Lewis Howe's School of Greatness, I think, is his podcast. Anyways, search for that one. It's July, aired in, I think, June or July. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Yeah, end of June or beginning of July 2025. Um, Listen to that whole episode. That's a really good episode. But again, now there's 2 ways you can do that, right? You can either earn a lot of money yourself, or you can convince other people to contribute a lot of money to your cause, right? To your purpose. And there is people out there who are, it's not necessarily their purpose, but they are really good at making a lot of money. And they want to help. Maybe their purpose is to help people, other entrepreneurs like you, to fulfill your purpose, right? And to expand your purpose beyond what your sales skills, or beyond what your business is financially capable of creating in the world, right? It's okay to partner with other people. right? And you don't have to make it all yourself. You don't have to kill yourself trying to make all this money. Like if you're just your skill set is not set up to make tens of millions of dollars a year, partner with people who do and make it happen that way, right? So, but what is really standing in your way? It isn't necessarily even money to stand in your way. I believe there's so much money in the world. I have an abundance mentality. I try to keep an abundance mentality forefront in my mind. I encourage everyone I know to have an abundance mentality. It's not money. Money isn't what's standing in your way, or lack of money, right? It's that's not it. What's really keeping you from fulfilling your purpose in the world? I believe it's lack of clarity. You aren't crystal clear about what your purpose, what your life's purpose is. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. When I started networking here in Calgary just over 3 years ago, I just shifted into a new career, or was in the process of shifting into a into a new career from insurance sales to financial advice. It's a bigger picture than just insurance sales. And I was going with a major national investment firm, and I was, in the process of interviewing with them, and so I was starting to do networking, and I was starting to basically learn networking. I had not really done much networking before that. I was very nervous about networking. I felt very insecure. I didn't feel like I had much value to add to the world. I mean, I kind of knew I did. I knew I had something in me that was big and worth sharing, but I didn't really know what it was. But I know you're supposed to network, right? Your network is your net worth and all that, right? Um, so I started doing that. I started doing a lot of networking. And when I started networking, this is the capacity that I had at the time. Okay, this is about 3 years ago. I thought, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm anxious about who I'm going to meet. I'm not sure that I really have anything to offer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to connect with one person, literally one person, and then I'm going to try to just my excuse was I'm just going to go deeper with that one person, right? I'm going to create one really good connection, right? Because you can go to networking events and you can kind of chat surface with lots of people and not really make any good connections. So I'm going to try to make one good connection. So that was my goal when I started networking, was to make one really good connection. And it wasn't even really about that I had something valuable to share. It was just more about, well, how can I just make a personal connection with somebody, right? Like listen to them, ask them questions about themselves, et cetera, right? And that's I'm not nothing wrong with that. You need to do that, but I didn't have a clear why or a clear purpose in even what I was doing in the networking, right? I didn't have anything clearly stated about what I had to offer anybody else, and that's important. I think when you're networking, you have to be clear about that, or get to clarity about that. So, anyways, so I went along with that, and over time, as I got more comfortable networking, and I saw some of the same people at different things, and that I got to where it's okay. Well, my goal then became okay. Well, if I can connect with two, maybe three people, and have shorter but still the same kind of quality conversations with two or three people, then that'll be a huge success for me, right? I'll consider that a success. Um, and I did that, right? I got to where I was like two or three people. And then after like two or three people, I thought, okay, well, I've done it. I've reached my goal. I'm going home, right? The introvert side of me decided to go into quiet space and sort of decompress from the stress of trying to go out and network with people, right? And that went along that way for a long time. And for 2 years, I guess for 2 years, right? And after about 2 years, I'd networked enough and seen enough people at these networking events that I'd started to start to make some connections and hey Cory, how you doing? Oh, hey, so and so, yeah, it's great to see you again. Da, da, da. What are you working on? What's new? How can I help you? Right? I started to be more comfortable networking and in chatting with other people who I'd seen many times at networking events. We started talking about the networking scene, and I've mentioned this before in other things I've shared online, but it just became clear that it was not that easy to necessarily like just go to networking events and expect um, any referrals, right? And no wonder, right? I didn't really have a super clear purpose in mind. I mean, I've started after 2 years. I started to say more about what I was doing, what I was offering, that kind of thing. I had more to offer, but I still didn't feel like I was crystal clear on my purpose and what I was doing in the world, and why anyone should care about me versus all the other financial advisors out there, right? Everybody knows 10 financial advisors or more. So meeting me new, why should they care about me? So I really started to work about 2 years ago on my purpose. Like started to clarify what actually is it that I'm about? What is it that I'm hoping to do here? Like, um, so I just worked on it, worked on it, worked on it, worked on it. I racked my brain. I sought, where's my piece at? I did everything I could to try and figure out how to get clear on what what I could really communicate that expressed what my purpose was in life and why I was different than any other financial advisor. And it took me about 6 months. It was really the beginning of October. I think it was October 2nd or October 3rd of last year when I, for the first time, um, shared something new and different that I hadn't really shared before. In a way, I hadn't shared it before. And at that event, I didn't have one person that I connected well with. I didn't have two or three. I literally had 10 people that I connected with. And you might think, well, how do you do with 10 people at one event, right? You're used to one or two or three. Well, I literally had 10 conversations with people where the thing that I shared, and they shared too, don't get me wrong, but the things that I shared and the way that I shared them and the passion with which and the clarity with which I shared them resonated strongly with, seemed to, at least on the surface, resonate strongly with all 10 of those people. And all 10 of them wanted to connect with me further and talk further. So some of those people have become some of my strongest good friends and strongest partners now, even though I just met them in October. Um, I was amazed by this, right? And it's almost like something had been unlocked in me that I didn't know exactly. It wasn't like I said, okay, now I found the magical phrase. I just started talking in a new way about what I do and what I'm about, and it resonated. And it resonated where it wasn't like people were like, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. It was like, hang on, you have to meet so and so, and someone else said, you have to meet so and so, and people were introducing me to other people, and that had never happened before to me in a networking event. Never had anyone say, you have to meet this person. This person is, you're going to be so aligned with them because I know what their purpose is, and what you're saying is so resonating with me so much that I absolutely have to, I can't leave this room without introducing you to them. And that happened several times. So and then again on the next, was it a couple, I'm not sure, it was a couple of days later or a week later, I was at another networking event and the exact same thing happened. The exact same thing, different people, different group, same thing happened. It wasn't like the same people were there and they were introducing me to new people. It was different people introducing me to different people. And that happened several times in a row. And that really got me to think about, okay, no, I've got to do something with this, right? This is new, this is different. There's something here that's, like I said, unlocked or unleashed or whatever you want to call it. And I need to do that. It was in those events when I had those conversations with people, and they didn't just glad hand me and that sort of thing. They actually, some of them challenged me like, well, tell me this, tell me, answer this for me. And I answered it in a way that's genuine and honest to me, and they went, okay, I know you're legit because the way you answered that, right? So I say all that to say that the difference between clarity, you being clear on what your purpose is, being able to talk about it, you can talk about it passionately because you truly are passionate about it. It is your passion, it's your purpose. Sorry, and you can talk about it at length, ad nauseum with other people. Now I'm one of the last people to ever leave a networking event, right? As a rule. Um, so you can talk about with passion, you can talk with more people, you can talk about it endlessly, but it also engages people in what you're doing and in your purpose, right? And as a result, from that experience, I then went on to found the cohort, what is now called the cohort, right? And there's almost 50 people altogether in my cohort. And we're planning a big event in October, which we've announced. You can go to, do I have a link here? Let me see if I have a banner here for it. I don't have a banner for it. Let me make one up really quickly here. You can go to this. You can go to this one here. You can go here to the cohort.ca. Here's where you can find ticket information on this big event that we're doing in the fall. And I'm going to create another one here really quick. You can go to this one here and find out about, and you can find out at mycohort.ca, you can find out about sponsorship opportunities. If you own a business, run a business, which you probably do because you're watching me here. And this is Geared to Entrepreneurs. You can go to mycohort.ca and learn about sponsorship opportunities for this event. It's going to be an amazing event. All the details are there. I'm not here to sell the event, but just to say that big things can come and they can come suddenly and quickly and grow quickly once you have your purpose clarified. So there's lots more that's going to happen with the cohort, and it's going to happen with me as a result of me clarifying my purpose and who I am and what I'm about, and all of that is all wrapped up in my purpose, right? And the same thing can happen with you too. So if you recognize that, go out of that. So if you recognize that you aren't crystal clear in your purpose, you're struggling to network, people aren't resonating with what you're saying, or you just aren't sure how to talk clearly and confidently about what you do and who you are and what your business is, here's some tips on how to do that, right? And this is basically what I went through, and I encourage you to go through the same thing. And of course, if you want help, you can reach out. I'll help you with it. But here's some things you can do on your own that can help you sort through this, right? So number one, write down right now, like you can start this right now, as soon as we're done, or even right now, or schedule 5 minutes later today to do it, but make sure you do it today. Write out what you believe your purpose is right now. Just like, don't try to perfect it right now. Just write down where you're at right now. That's just a starting point, right? And it's not, there's no wrong answers. It's just where you are right now. Okay. How you describe what you do, how you describe, what the value, the purpose of what you offer is in the world, and that sort of thing, right? Well, or what was the last thing you told someone that you were building, or that you were working on, that you were excited about lately, that if they were keen enough to ask you those kinds of questions, right? What would you have said? Like, I'm so and so, and here's what I do. Just write that down, and then put it away somewhere where you can find it, where you won't have to search and search and search for it. But just put it away and just save it for another day. Okay. After you've done that, either today or another time, this will be a process. Could take days or weeks or months. For me, get away somewhere quiet, go for a walk, put on some just noise quieting headphones without music. Just put on something that somewhere you can go and kind of be calm and quiet, and somewhere you can think and meditate and process if you like, or somewhere you can just reflect on your life. Get some space, some time, space, and somewhere where you can do that for yourself, right? In the bath, whatever it is, right? Wherever you do that, and so do that, and then write down, ideally on paper, but if you have to do electronically, you can, but it's better if you do it on paper. Write down anything you can think of or remember that relates back to, say, what energized you as a kid. What did you like doing as a kid? What did you find was fun? What did you imagine? Like, for example, when I was a kid, one thing I imagined was, I'm going to write books one day, right? I'm going to be an author. That's kind of what I imagined, right? So that's one thing. That's one part of my purpose, right? So think about, like, anything that excites you, anything that anything that resonates with you, anything that gives you peace, anything that makes you feel content, anything that, like, you've thought of that, oh yeah, I really like that. I used to really enjoy going down to, for me, and here's one thing actually just popped in my head, right? I used to enjoy going down to the nicest hotel in the city where I lived at the time, in another city, going to the nicest hotel in the city on a Sunday morning, and I'd go into the restaurant and I'd order pancakes, and I'd order fruit, fresh fruit, and I'd order an amazing cup of coffee. And I would just sit there and enjoy. They had a piano playing on the side. And this hotel doesn't do this anymore, sadly, but had a piano playing on the side, and some maple syrup on my pancakes. And it just was like, it was just super calming. I'd sit there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I just relaxed. And I just enjoyed the coffee. I just enjoyed the flavor of what I was eating. I just enjoyed me time, right? Sometimes incorporated texting with other people, but it really was me time. It was my time for me. And I really enjoyed that. So maybe that's something you like to do, something different, but whatever. Something like that you like to do. Just write it down, write anything like that. And it doesn't matter what it is. Things you enjoy doing, people you enjoy being with, experiences you enjoy, things that you find you're particularly good at, you're skilled at, or talented at, things that come easily to you. Those are probably related to your purpose somehow. Um, so make a list and add to it. Write down stories, write down words, write down phrases. Maybe you see something in an Instagram reel, or something like that. Like I do that all the time. I'm like saving these things. I mentioned that last week, right? In fact, I have a whole in my notes app. I have a whole thing of all these different things. They relate to one topic. They're reels, or their Facebook, or their Instagram, or their whatever. They're short little things that inspire me to a certain uh, direction, and I keep track of those. So write those down, right? Write down whatever it is that you feel like resonates most with you and who you are and what you want to do, what you want to create in life, or what you want to be remembered for, what you want to be known for, et cetera, right? Okay, and again, it could take days, it could take weeks, it could take months. Keep working on it, right? Keep working on it, and then group them. Group those things. Look at your list. Group them into things like, okay, these are clearly, um, you know, these are clearly work related, or something like let's say I'm a good public speaker, right? Well, that's work related, or could be nonprofit related, but it's something cause related, but it's certainly not something you generally just you do for fun. You don't just set up a soapbox on the front of your house and just public speak, right? There's something to that. Another thing might be health or fitness or nutrition, or some other things that just really rev you up and really get you going. It could be whatever, some sport, some activity. You like to hike, you just like being out in nature, like anything, whatever it is. Skills you have, right? Anything at all. Um, and just sort of group them, right? Group them into things that make sense to you. I'm not here to judge that, but you'll know what makes sense to you, and group them together, right? Um, and then prioritize the group, or the activities or the things in the group. Prioritize the groups into, like, this is probably the top group in terms of like what my life is about and who I am. This is maybe second or third, like just kind of group your prioritize your groups. And then within your top group, or your top three groups, prioritize each one of those top three groups, right? And there may be some overlap, that's okay, but don't you don't have to overthink it, but just kind of like look at it and go, this kind of makes sense. These kind of go together for this reason. Um, Makes sense to you? That works for me, right? When you've done that, when you've exhausted all you can think of, and you think like, I can't think of anything else that is really critical for me to be a part of who I am and what I want to do and what I want to be about. Um, you know, Bring out your original purpose, right? The one you wrote today or started today. Yeah, you're writing it down today. Come back to that one that you wrote down today and compare it. Just compare the words or the phrases or the stories, how they made you feel, or whatever it was about the stories on the list you made. Compare that to your original purpose that you wrote down that you thought was the purpose for your life, and see how different they are. Okay. The more different they are, the more it explains why you were feeling unfulfilled before, right? And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it or anything. Just recognize that you weren't on purpose, right? On your purpose. You were fulfilling a purpose, but it wasn't complete, or wasn't your purpose, or wasn't your complete purpose, right? And start to work on what is your purpose, what is clearly your things, right? find some way to mesh those together. You might need some help with this. It's okay. I can help you. A number of other coaches out there can help you with this. But once you have that list of these are the priorities, or these are the things that I think I'm best at, or these are the things that I think I can contribute the most, or however you want to categorize that. I'm not here to try to impose that on you, but however you categorize that, put that together and incorporate that into what you tell people about here's what I'm about, right? So, right, just start working on it, and you can start now. That's the great thing. Like you can start now, start right now. Write this thing down. Write your purpose down, your current purpose, or set a time later today to start this. But start it today. Spend at least 5 minutes. It may not even take you 5 minutes, but set aside at least 5 minutes, right? And go, okay, well, here's the last thing I said at a networking event about what I do, right? I'm a financial advisor. I help entrepreneurs grow their wealth. Okay, yeah, that's exciting. It is for entrepreneurs. It is for me, but it's more than that, right? Um, so yeah, let's start that today. Start this process, and then from there, go on and note your stories and your other talents and all other stuff. You don't have to remain unfulfilled, right? You can be fulfilled. I'm sure inside of you is a great purpose, and it's bigger than you. It's bigger than even just your family, as important as they are. It's bigger than even just your neighborhood. There's something for the city. There's something for the province. There's something for your state. Something for your country. There's something for the world that you have to offer, that that is in you, and I want to see you dig it out. I want to see you realize it, and at the very first to start to go, oh, okay, that makes sense now. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's what I want for you, and that because that's what I believe I have for me. Um, so again, it's not going to happen all at once. It's going to be a bit of a process. It might take days, weeks. It's probably going to take weeks or months, to be honest with you, depending how far you are off of how unfulfilled you are. The more unfulfilled you are, the longer this may take. Um, but there could be, and there probably will be, some epiphanies, some sudden dramatic shifts in your thinking about your purpose as you go through this process. And especially once you get clear about it, you're probably going to see things start to open up and really develop pretty quickly for you. Partnerships, relationships, different things that are going to start to make more sense and make you feel more fulfilled in what you're doing in your life. So once you're done this, or even as you're going through it, reach out and tell me how it's going. Tell me how it went. Tell me, if you're comfortable, share, and I won't share these publicly, but share with me your before and your after, right? This is what I thought. This is what I was saying I was about. Here's what I feel I'm really about now. So, because I want to celebrate that with you. Absolutely want to do that, and I want to help you any way I can to fulfill your purpose once you're clear on it. Okay. Um, so if anybody wants to know if you've listened this far, I'm not going to say it now because we're getting into a long video already. But if you reach out and you ask me, what did I come up with as my purpose? What was it that I shared with those 10 people at multiple networking events in a row? What was it that I solidified, that I made sense of, that helped me to form the cohort and go on to do some of the things that we're doing in the cohort. If you want to know that, I'll know you watched this far because you can ask me that. Nowhere else in this video have I mentioned this. So reach out and ask me what mine is, and if you want to know, then I'll tell you. But we'll see if how many actually. I don't know how many are actually watching this to the end. Not very many, but I'm trying to shake that up with some different processes here today. So I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you watched as much as you did. I hope you watched this far, and I hope you reach out and ask me what my purpose is and what I now share when I do networking and other things, because I love it. I'm super excited about it. I think it's super valuable. I think you'll like it, and I'm excited to share it. So it's been great having you. I'm looking forward to more. I'm just going to go ahead and put. We're not going to do any outro music today. I'm just going to put a few seconds um, of the main screen back on, so you have the links to contact me. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from you next time. and in between time. All right. Take care for now.